Hey guys, it's Ryan. Welcome to my series of videos on cable knitting. With each video I'll be going over a different type of cable, so if you haven't watched my intro to cable knitting, be sure to go check that out. Otherwise, all you're going to need is your cable knitting needle, so be sure you have one of these. So good luck and enjoy. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make the honeycomb cable. The honeycomb pattern is exactly what it sounds like. It looks like a honeycomb. It's got a nice little interlocking pattern here, and then it also is really light. It's got holes running through it. If you turn it to its side, you can kind of see those. So it looks great for like a blanket or a light sweater. Once you've cast on, we're going to start off just making the stockinette stitch. So you'll want to purl this first row and then knit the back and purl again, just so we can grow that stockinette stitch out and have something to work with. So now I've grown out the stockinette stitch, and now I'm ready to start the cabling. The honeycomb cable is basically two cables that are going in and out, in and out, in and out, forming the honeycomb. So take your cable needle and you'll slip off those first two stitches, and then we're going to bring these two stitches over two spaces. So knit the next two off your needle, bring back up the cable and knit those off. So now we've got one section going inwards, and now we want one section that's also coming inwards. You'll want to slip off these next two stitches, but these are going to be going under the arm, the next section. So the next section is going to be coming in this way. So slip these off and then knit two. Now you can bring back up the cable and knit that part off. So now what you have are, you can barely start to see what's beginning to form here, but we've got two arms coming in, and then we've got a bottom section that's going to be left under there. You'll want to continue that pattern. So the next two that you slip off are going to be going over and going inwards. So pull them forward. And then knit the next two stitches. Bring back up the cable. And knit those off. And then the next one is going to be the piece that's going under, so slip those off and bring it to the back and knit the next two, and then bring back up the cable and knit them off. If this is kind of confusing, don't worry, I'll be going over this a couple more times, and it actually might be a little more helpful once you can see a little bit more of the honeycomb. So I'm going to repeat that for this whole row, and then on the back side you'll just purl it like normal so you can keep growing that stockinette stitch, and I will meet you back on the front side once we have that all done. Now I'm back on the front, and now you can see a little easier the honeycomb pattern that's beginning to form. We've got all these different cables that are going, they're making almost like a V pattern. So now what we're going to do is do the opposite of the cabling that we were doing before. So we're going to be taking these four stitches right here, the part where the V forms, and splitting them back up. Slip off those first two stitches onto the cable needle and bring them to the back, and then you can knit the next two just like normal. Bring in those cables now to the front and knit them off. So we're separating those two arms now. And to do the next arm, we'll do the same thing. Slip off the two cables, or slip off the two stitches, and bring them to the front, because they'll be going to the left, and then knit the next two. And then knit them off that cable. Moving on to the next little V here, you'll want to do the same thing. So take two stitches off and we're going to put them up between those two cables. So we're going to bring over this next two stitches, bring back in the cable and knit those off. Here's the next half of that cable, and we're going to bring that to the left, so bring it to the front, knit the next two, and then bring up your cable. So here is what we're looking at right now. You can see it starting to form now. Here's one of the little holes. Here's the little hole. We've got the cables coming together here, and then they're coming out, forming another little together right here, and then going back out. So just repeat that pattern for the rest of this row, and then you will purl the back side like normal. Now back on the front side, here is what we see. Now you can really tell the honeycomb here. We've got these different shapes that are starting to form, and we're just going to continue that now for this row as well. So now what we're working with are these 4 stitches that are coming at the top of these 2 cables that are coming together. So now we're going to split those up right here, and then on the sides too. Slip off those first 2 stitches, and instead of bringing it to the back like we did on the last one, we're going to bring it to the front, knit the 2 stitches that are behind, bring back up the cable and knit those 2 off. Now we're going to slip off the next 2 stitches and bring it to the back, and what that does is it's going to bring this half of this cable back over to the right. And then bring up the cable and knit those 2. And that's really all you're doing with the honeycomb cable pattern. You're just looking and seeing where you're going to need to break up the next ones. So the next 2 stitches I have are ones that are in that hole, and I'm going to want to break up these 4 stitches right here that are making up the 2 cables. So I'm going to bring these 2 stitches to the back with my cable needle, and that will bring this arm of the cable to the right. And then I would do the opposite for this one. I bring this one forward and knit the next 2 so it would go this way. So that's all you're doing, is you're just repeating that pattern over and over again. The honeycomb cable creates a really light fabric because of the holes that you're forming. So it's great for like a baby blanket or something really light. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and feel free to leave any questions or comments down below. And I will see you next time.